Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at this CHOGOKIN Samus Aran from Metroid Prime 4. Okay, so this just came out, I think, maybe 2 days ago, a day ago. I was at first on the fence of buying it, because it is kind of expensive, but the more I looked at it, the harder it was to resist. This thing, as you can see, is huge. She's got real metal in her, all this kind of stuff, so I'm excited to take a look at this one. So first, we're just going to take a quick look at the packaging, which it looks pretty nice, actually. And then, of course, we'll get into the figure details. So this is the CHOGOKIN kind of series or line, I guess. That kind of thing has gone back a long time. So it basically means like the Cho is like kind of super, and the Gokin is kind of like a metal alloy kind of thing. So it's basically saying like a super metal series or something, because parts of this are made with metal. This is the first Metroid one to be done with that style, but there's been many like, you know, super robots and things like that done with this kind of style before. And yeah, this is from the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond game, which I haven't actually played yet. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of on the fence of getting it, because I hadn't played the game. But I do like the look of this suit from that game. It's pretty nice. It does have that classic Samus look, while also having its own kind of thing going. So I think it works pretty well. So looking at the side, it seems like this figure is going to have a lot of good posability. So we just got her in a cool kind of action pose right there. And then on the other side, a bit more of an elegant rear shot, not just the rear, but showing the rear of the figure here with all their cool detailing and things. So if we go over to the back here, you can see we've got a really nice variety of shots of the figure here, and really showing off just how flexible and posable and all of that she is. We also have some information here showing the die-cast parts. So it seems like quite a bit, these red parts, right? So things like the arm cannon are not going to be, and I guess the head, but then we have all these body pieces which are going to be, so that's pretty cool. And it's not super heavy, but it's definitely weightier than your average figure. This is also pretty tall, this figure, so we'll see how that goes. Also, this lights up, and you would think for such an expensive figure they could throw in a few batteries, but apparently not. So I've gone ahead and already purchased some of those today, so we can take a look at the cool light up features. On the top, we just got another cool kind of crouching shot of her. And on the bottom, just a cool firing shot. So, okay, I think we've taken enough look at all the box stuff. Nobody cares about that. Let's open her up and get to the figure itself. Now, yeah, I haven't actually played Metroid Prime 4 yet, but I have played a lot of the Metroid games, and I've always been a big fan of Samus, even going back to the Nintendo, the NES version, and especially the Super Metroid version. I think that's really great looking. There we go. Okay, now we can have a slightly more normal camera angle going on here. Oh wow, we got a nice big color manual. That's better than what the games get these days. They usually don't even come with one, and if they do, it's definitely not color anymore, is it? So let's see, in here is just obviously information about what kind of parts you get, lots of hands, which is great. The figure itself, the stand, it looks like it's going to be a sturdy stand because of the weight of her. And then showing the different light up features. This is really nice. I'm actually impressed that they decided to go with nice full color pictures like that. It's very simple. It's just one folded sheet, but that's pretty good. Anyways, you might have to reference that later. I'll just set it aside. And just something explaining about using the this bendable stand for her. Okie dokie, let's get to the good stuff. All right, so, oh wow, this is great. Okay, I'm just going to set her there just for a minute. We'll take a quick look at what's in here, and then we'll get to the big piece. This seems like it's going to be used to probably move some things around or pop something out, I would think. Probably. Or maybe it's just for cleaning my nails or something. This is the big stand she comes with. It's actually really light. This is just a simple plastic. It's cool. It kind of looks like, I don't know if it's a specific thing, but it kind of reminds me of like when she's on an elevator or a save station or all those kinds of Metroid type platforms. Or it could be like when she enters or exits her ship and that kind of zoop lifts her up. There's that kind of look to it. Interesting that they textured it so much, but yeah, looks good. Then this is the bendable piece. This is metal in here. It seems like inside here is metal. This is plastic. It's pretty stiff, but it is sturdy, that's for sure. I'm not going to bend it too much right now until I decide what kind of poses I want, but I think that'll just plop into there, and then this will somehow attach into her back. These also seem to be something to do with the end of that. So, okay, I made a mistake there. I guess this will plug into this end here. And then this smaller one will plug into her back somewhere. We'll see if that's like a hidden hole or she just always has a hole in her back. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the actual like more figure pieces. So this is just the end of her arm cannon there. I guess this is going to be when she's firing missiles and stuff, and it's opened up. Yeah, so I think the actual light is built into the arm there, so that should shine through either version, open or closed, I guess. The coloring is nice. We've got like kind of a, I don't know, a greeny gold color inside. Maybe that's to signify something's zoom, kind of lighting up and stuff like that. And then on the edges, we get this nice kind of metallic, sparkly looking, I don't know, like a greenish color. Looks good. And now for hands. Okay, we got a fist. And she just wants to get punching. Yep, the nice good color. I like the detailing on all these knuckles and stuff like that. We got the separate color for the palm, even showing some kind of maybe like a fabric or something like that in there. I have no idea how easy these are going to be to pop on and off, but looks good. We got a thumbs up so she can give Adam her approval or disapproval of the mission briefings. Nobody likes that, do they? Or just a cool classic you win kind of Metroid pose, which you see her do often. I think... So I don't know, in this one I know she uses some like psychic powers or something like that. I don't know if this is supposed to be specifically to pointing to that, or maybe it's just touching the controls on her arm, on her cannon arm, or touching something on her visor. I guess you could just do it for various stuff, or like, go that way. It's cool how they kind of gave her these more ladylike fingers, these kind of more elegant, angled ladylike fingers. It's kind of neat. It reminds me of a more, how do I put it, like a more artistic take on her suit design. I'm sure it's like this in the game. I'm not saying it's the figure that's changed the design, but just you would expect a big robotic suit to be a little bit more bulky, but it's got this more like elegant flow to it, which looks pretty cool. Also, her knuckles seem to be slightly different colors, or like some shading or something in there. It's really, really fine. It's also on the edges there, I think. There's some really nice, fine, delicate work in there. It's really impressive. Then we just have an open hand, and I think this one's more to put onto the cannon when she's getting ready to fire. But just good, standard, relaxed kind of hand. And then, I don't know, I guess this could also be to kind of place on something or whatever it happens to be. Or like a cool action pose where her hand's behind her and she's firing this way, or just lots of variety. It's nice just to have all these different variations of hands. Now this is the more kind of psychic power one, which I don't know too much about how that's going to work in the game. But as you can see, she's all glowing, this purpley color. This is a really, really nice gradient. We go from like a metallic blue, gray blue, all the way up to this kind of purple, and then a little bit into her orange. It's really nicely done. Those are great colors on her. The orange and the purple and the blue, they all go really well with each other and complement each other. I like that. And that's it. Those are all the extras. She doesn't really need too much. She's not the type of character that's, you know, constantly using things or grabbing things. So I think that's just a nice variety of hands and such. So let's get into the figure herself. Okay, first of all, let me say she is heavy. She is, I don't know why, but out of the box, she feels more weighty, I guess, just because it's just the figure now, but this is really awesome. Actually, I'm really impressed by this already. I've barely moved her around, but I'm impressed by this. You know, you can kind of get a sense of where there's metal pieces and where there aren't. I guess most of this is metal, as we saw in that packaging. If I can get in close here, try to get some good lighting on there. I don't know if you can see, but you can actually see in through the visor, and you can see Samus's face is in there. I guess we'll just start from the top and work our way down as usual with these reviews here. So yeah, we've got our helmet. Really great. There's this metallic kind of paintwork going on through the whole thing to give it this kind of sparkly metallic look, which in hand is not as strong as it is in the video, but it's just a nice subtle metallic look, which is great. We've got lots of line work all over to match the game. There's not really any, just trying to see for the first time here, it doesn't seem like there's much like detailing in there paint wise or anything. There are things like in there and in there, but shading wise, it seems like they kept it pretty clean. And maybe that's kind of to match the game model a little bit more, which is not, you know, she's always very clean and stuff like that in these games. And then over time, I guess, gets roughed up. But this kind of captures just that clean, simple color palette of Samus. So she's got her huge, I love the big shoulder pads on her in all the games when she has that style. It looks great. So we got those well represented. We'll do articulation in a minute, so I don't know how much these are gonna, seems like they'll get out of the way. We've got kind of the body suit and other armor and stuff like that under there, protecting her joints and everything like that. Yeah, this has like a nice kind of stiffness to the articulation. I can feel the metal and the weight to it, so that's kind of good. I feel like she'll be able to hold her poses really well. In the midsection here, we've got all this nice kind of gold work. It goes all the way down, looking really cool. Once again, looking really metallic and seems very accurate to the games. And she's got, I guess, what would you call that? Like a little jetpack thing for when she's doing like her, you know, speed boosts and higher jumps and things like that. Is that what this would be for, I guess? Anyways, she's got it on there. This works pretty well. The elbows, yep, they look pretty good like that. You can get a little extra range if you want to pop it out, or you can hide that, tuck it up really nicely. Got lots of paintwork all throughout those parts there. Then this is the other hand, not a set of hands, of course, but just a single hand, just a kind of relaxed one there. The orange paintwork on this is great. I mean, for the whole thing, but especially the orange, it's so shiny, and it really captures the look of the games, I would say. And then, of course, her arm cannon right there looks great. We've got this really beautiful looking kind of bluish green main color, and then the purple highlights throughout the whole thing. And that's kind of cool. So this piece, this little triangular kind of piece, seems to be attached to theirs, so it doesn't get out of the way, but you got a nice smooth finish if you want her arm to be straight. Then going down, we got more of this great looking metallic stuff all up in there. The gold legs. These parts, this is kind of new for the new game, right? She doesn't really have all this purple in the previous designs, and she's got this in the other games, but it's not purple. Almost looks like she's wearing track pants, huh? Like the stripe down it. Then we go down, she's got her boots, she's got a nice toe joint there. Some silver on the bottom. You can actually see the treads that Samus has. Maybe you can find a nice pair of boots that has the same thing. Great, this is great. I'm really happy with this. I'm glad I decided to go with it and pick this up. So far, it's been awesome. So let's take a look at the articulation, shall we? So for the head, she's not going far back at all. That seems to be about it. I don't want to force this too much. This would be a very sad thing to break. So I'm not going to force it much, but it goes about that far back and about that far down, which I think is okay, because in the game, she doesn't really have a ton of range anyways because of this big helmet and stuff like that. And a little side to side. There's also I don't know where the battery would go in this part or in this part, but this all lights up, this lights up, these light up. So there's probably a bit of a limitation as well because of that, just so you're not breaking wires or something. But anyways, we got that going on. Because of this big, huge, bulky shoulder pad, you kind of limits her, but she still can go pretty high up. That's actually not that bad, as you can see. And then if you want, you could bring that forward or back, or just whatever you want. And then when you decide on the pose you want, you reset that to kind of fill in the space or whatever. That works pretty well, though. There we go. Her arm can go about that far, like in front of her. But then you could also cross it over, of course, because you're going to want poses where... Oops. Oh, that's metal in there. That's nice. So as I was saying, you're going to want poses where she's holding onto the arm cannon and doing blasts and stuff like that. So of course she has to be able to cross it over like that. Also, these kind of come out quite a bit. So if you need her to be crossing her arms out in front of her a little bit more like that, you would bring those out there. And then if you want an arm way back, you can just kind of swivel it back. And then get a little bit more of a dynamic pose. Looks pretty good. She can go about that high up. You can't really go past that because of the spiky end of this bicep piece. And then just straight down. And you can rotate all the way around if you want like that. Same on the shoulder and stuff like that on this side, of course. And then the arm cannon can go pretty straight up and down, actually. That's not bad at all. That looks pretty good. And then once again, just straight down, of course. From what I understand, this takes a set of batteries, and then this section takes a set of batteries. So there should be no wiring between there, I think. Bending back, she goes about that far. Once again, not super far. And then forward is a lot better. It seems like this piece here, you can see that kind of is on some sort of spring or something. So I think that's designed to go in to give her a little bit more flexibility. So say, for example, she's jumping back or something like that, doing some cool jumping back and firing kind of pose or something. You can get that crunch in there if you want. Side to side, not too bad. She's got some motion there. Pretty good. I don't know how far down her hips can go. I don't know if she has like a drop or something on her hips. But this piece here is designed to move out a little bit to give you a bit more range to go up to the side. Maybe you can go more than that. I don't really want to pop this off and find out for myself, you know. So I'm only going to go that far, but potentially you could maybe go further than that. And you can go fairly far forward and up, fairly far back as well. I think you could maybe go all the way around, but I'm not going to bother doing that just in case. But you can kind of see the joint work in there if you're curious. And then legs, obviously just straight. And you can bend them pretty far back. She can't kick her own butt, but she can do pretty good. These have a little bit of give on there. There's a lot of little pieces on this, like these and these, just to help give her a little bit more flexibility. Then up here, what would you call this? The tongue of the shoe kind of spot. That has some movement. I don't think her ankle's going much further down than that, actually. But it can go up about that far. And then we got the toe as well, so you could have her running or something like that. And pretty good side to side. Well, maybe just inside. She can go that far in, but she can't go out. I think this piece here, pushing against that, stops her. So she can only kind of do like an action pose where she's standing down like that or something. And then same for that one. So pretty good. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I don't really see Samus as a super flexible character when she's wearing the suit, because I like it being a big, bulky, strong, armored suit. So there should be kind of a limitation to her anyways. So for me, this is a pretty accurate amount of range of motion and things like that. So I think that works pretty well to give her enough to do the poses that you're kind of familiar with Samus, like we saw in the back of the box. So let's try on a few of the other hands here. So there we got the purple hand where she's using her kind of psychic powers. I think that's to like just solve puzzles and stuff, right? To like open doors or do things like that. Tell me if you've played it, let me know when does she use that. But once again, really, really great coloring on it. I love how that looks. What's with Nintendo recently and their big name games having characters use weird special hands? Because Link in Tears of the Kingdom did that too. Up next, you have a bit more of just like a, I don't know. I see this more as like kind of an action-y thing. So like she sees Ridley or something like that, and what's going on? You know, or maybe she's about to run, or just things like that. It seems like that is kind of a cool pose, right? You could have her just in like an action pose. Now I think this one, the open palm one, I don't know if that's to hold the gun. I'm going to look at the packaging in a minute. I don't know if that's the one to like brace the cannon with. Seems like that could work pretty well, actually. Yeah, maybe that is for that. And then I would adjust everything, of course, to make it look better, but you can get an idea that that probably works pretty well for that. So I'm wondering if this one is like to be activating something on her new weird gem thing that she has on her helmet. Or maybe it's to be pointing at something. Go over there. Do that. I don't know. Or she's pressing some like schematics. Do some buttons and bringing up maps or something like that on her, you know, on her arm thing. She often types on there to bring something up. So it seems like it could kind of be used for that as well. Then we got the fist. I guess if you just want her kind of standing there, she could look cool just with the fist. She could also do the fist on the hips kind of thing like that, wherever you would do it. You have to work it out and figure out the best spot, but something like that, you know, that could be pretty cool, holding the gun up with the fist on the hip. Yeah, that's not bad. Something like that. And then last but not least, as far as the hands go, we get the great thumbs up. Nice. Now, let's change out the open firing shot. I don't know, this could be for the missiles, or this could be a charge beam or something like that, but let's do it. Pops off pretty easy. Looking in there, you can kind of see there's a little light or something in there. Now, it seems like one side has a flat piece, so that's going to have to line up with the bottom. That's around the bottom, I guess. Or maybe that's the inside, not the bottom. But there you go. So if you want her charging up or something like that, you get the other hand, I guess, but you could do a cool thing like that, which probably when it's lit up would look great. Speaking of which, why don't we get some batteries into this and we will see what these light up features look like. Okay, I wasn't even going to film the battery changing, but I thought that might be useful for some people to see, because, you know, if they're having trouble with it, or if they're curious, if it's difficult. So this just pops off really easy. This is metal. This is heavy on its own, but that comes off quite easy. And then you've got to take off this screw right here. So we'll just do that now. So for this part, it was a little confusing at first. You have to undo that screw, but then this clip, which holds that red piece on, kind of gets in the way of it falling down. So you got to kind of pop it down and then pop this out like that. You can't just bring it out like this. You kind of got to go down and then out, just so you know. So next up, you got to get some of these batteries, make sure, well, I don't know if this is going to be the same where you are, but in Japan, they're LR41, which kind of sounds like a planet she would visit. LR41. The last Metroid was an LR41 anyways. These are just little watch batteries, but if you're not living in Japan, then I'm not sure the exact type that they would be called, so I would just look up a chart or something like that to make sure you get the right size and everything like that. Okay, so next up, according to the instructions, I'm supposed to lay them both in there like that, kind of sideways. I feel like I'm giving her a suit upgrade or something like that. Okay, so you just pop them both in like that, and then we can put the cover back on. The good thing is obviously you don't have to keep taking them in and out all the time. I guess if you want to display her for a long time and never turn it on, maybe you should take them out, but otherwise I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. And then this hole will plug into that little clip right there. And so now what we got to do is this cover right here, this panel is hiding the on and off switch basically for the chest. So you just pretty sure just on this side, maybe it's both, but just get your nail or something under there, and you should be able to just wiggle it out, and then there you go. There's an on and off switch hidden under there. I tested it, and I thought for a second, like, oh no, it's not working. But it turned out I had one of the batteries the wrong way around, so just be careful of that if you do get this. So we got that one in. I haven't turned it on yet. We might as well do it all together, right? But next up is going to be the arm cannon. I think the arm cannon one might be a little easier to get to. It seems like it's going to be this panel right here. Oh yeah, check that out. Comes out nice and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this, and then we'll put the batteries in. So I would say, like, for favorite designs, my favorite would be, of like her suits, would be the ones in Super Metroid. I think Super Metroid looks great. You know, you've got just her kind of starting suit, but then you've also got, as she upgrades and gets more purple on the sides and everything, it looks pretty cool. I also really like the look of her on Metroid 2, on like the cover art where she's kneeling down and holding the gun up, which is probably how I'm going to pose this one. I think that also looks really cool. It's a nice design. These are going to go both the same way, that way into there. Okay, those should both be in there. And I think the switch is here. Oh, yes, that works nice. Okay, I'm going to put that cover back on then. And then I'll just put the normal one back on for now. Okay, now for the moment of truth, I'm going to turn out a bunch of these lights, and we're going to see how she looks with all these glowing parts on. Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, it's really strong, as you can see. It's quite powerful. This one's almost like a flashlight. You can kind of shine it around, as you can see. If I turn out this backlight there too, it's really quite strong. And then, of course, a great details. You can actually see her eyes in there. If I zoom in a bit more there, you can really see her faces in there. That's a great detail. It seems like they had kind of like a clear-ish opaque plastic mold of her face, and then maybe the light is behind that, but it's kind of acting like this cool effect to actually have her eyes show up a little bit. That's a really nice effect, and it's quite subtle. Like in hand, it's not like a weird crazy face. It's just, oh, there's somebody in there. And then we got the chest lit up as well. Looks really good. And then that kind of gem thing. The camera is trying to compensate for the lighting, but if I bring it down a little bit, it's not quite the same. It's more of a like a pinky purple in person. It's not quite as blown out, the whites. So it's a really nice subtle look, actually. And then for the arm, same kind of thing. Let me see. It's kind of hard to do, but if I bring the lighting way down, you can kind of start to see this coloring right here is a bit more how it looks in person, actually. It's not so crazy bright. It's more of this nice, subtle purple and stuff like that. But that looks great, and it's not shining through anywhere in like a weird way or anything like that. It's all solid paint that keeps it from bleeding through anywhere. It's just this cool looking effect. I'm going to put on the other arm cannon, and we'll see how that looks. So let's pop that off and grab this one, the open one. Push that on. There we go. So now it's got more of a green effect than the purpley pink of the other part. It also brings out those details really nicely, like that kind of stuff. That's cool. That's a cool Samus. So if you're somebody who's like into photographing figures or things like that, I think this would be really fun. If you could set her in like a forest or something and light this up and have her standing near some moss or some rocks, you know, when it's not super bright out, this would look really great. Like even just like that, it looks like she's going through a cave or something like that. This is really good. Such a nice feature. One thing I forgot to mention is to put the stand on her, all you do is you pop out this kind of tailbone piece that comes out like that, and then you can maybe see in there, there's a gap. And so you choose, you know, one of these two that you like, and then you attach it to the end of the bendable pole, and then you would just pop it in to do whatever you want. Then you could have kind of jumping around poses and things like that. Yeah. Goes in snugly like that. It also looks like she can give you beer or something like that. Oh, she's on tap. It's Samus on tap. So this figure is quite big actually, and I wanted to bring in a few things just to give you a sense of the scale and size of her in case you're curious. So we'll start with a couple Metroid things. Here we have the Figma from Metroid Dread. So as you can see, this one's a little bit more than halfway. But there's maybe about a third or so left to go to reach the size of this one. So, you know, pretty big compared to a Figma. Here we have a Fallout, like McFarlane Fallout power armor suit, which is much closer. It's still a little bit shorter than her, about, maybe it looks odd on camera, but it's about half a head shorter, this one. So she's still a little bit taller than that. These are quite sizable too, so she's pretty big. And then finally we have a Hot Toys. This is an Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man, just to give you another idea, which is Samus's head comes to around his chest, or a little under his chest, I would say. So she's obviously not Hot Toy scale, but she's getting up there. She's pretty dang big. Oh, and one more, I forgot, another Samus one. So this is, I'm not going to take it out, but this is a Samus from Metroid 2 in that cool pose that I was talking about before, which is probably how I'm going to pose this one, actually, when I put it on the shelf. But just to give you an idea for an amiibo, that would be maybe up to like her knee-ish, something like that. Okay, well, there you have it. That is the CHOGOKIN Samus Aran figure from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's fantastic. I'm very happy with this figure. I'm so glad I got it. I imagine down the road it might start to become a little expensive or harder to get. I don't know. It seems like Metroid stuff often becomes really expensive later on. So I'm glad I snatched it when I did. It's absolutely great. It really is one of the ultimate Samus figures, I think. My one little nitpick is that I find that the hands can pop off pretty easy when you're posing her. But aside from that, there's been nothing else that's wrong. She's great. She's solid, very posable, hefty. She's a hefty lady. But it's really great, cool light up features and everything like that. So after I finished the review, I should say that like I was just posing it and kind of looking at it in different lighting, getting a few extra shots and stuff like that. I love this figure. I think this has become my favorite figure. It really is so good. And I think this is the kind of thing that I've always wanted in a great Samus suited up figure. The fact that it's got real metal, which is so cool. If it wasn't so expensive, I would get two and I would do some scraping and battle damage to reveal some of the metal. And I think that would be really neat. But I hope that they bring out the other suits from the other games. You know, some of the more classic ones from Super Metroid and things like that. I would be happy to get them now that I've gotten my hands on this one. It's so cool. And I mean, my lighting is not special here or anything like that, but when you see it in kind of cool, moody lighting, it looks really good. So if you have any questions or comments about it or whatever, something you're curious about, feel free to leave that in a comment down below. And until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.